What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy Chang, a nurse, a mom, and a health coach, and this is Healthy AF, where honesty and humor and heart meet real talk about feeling good again, inside and out. We're cutting through the noise, dropping the guilt, and reminding you getting healthy isn't about perfection. It's about choosing yourself, one loving decision at a time. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. I'm Amy Chang, and I'm a health coach with Healthy Life, Health, and Wellness Coaching. Happy Thanksgiving! This podcast will drop on Monday after Thanksgiving, and I hope you had a fabulous time with your family. Full confession, I meant to do a little bit of holiday prep for you guys before the Thanksgiving holiday, and actually I just missed the mark a little bit. So it gives us a fabulous opportunity to take some time to reflect on the holiday, how that went, how you felt, how you ate, how you exercised, how you did your meditation when you're with all your people, and really look at Christmas is coming up and what might we want to bring in to really create the holiday season, the continuation of the holiday season, just the way we want it. So today I wanted to talk to you about planning your holidays and planning inside your hula hoop. I had a friend who shared with me a few years ago that she had some new family coming. You know, if you are about my age-ish, you may or may not have children who are getting married. And so you've got new in-laws that may want to come, and you've got a lot of different traditions that may not match yours, may feel really exciting, and you might be open to them. And also you might be like, whoa, that is not the way we do it, and I am not comfortable. So in having this conversation with a friend, she shared with me that she did have some new in-laws coming, and that plans were being made without her that were going to take place in her home. And she was feeling the feelings. I think we can all imagine the feelings of, wait, that's not what I wanted to do, or hang on, that's not the way we've always done it, or you can't make the stuffing, I'm making grandma's recipe for the stuffing. All of those feelings. And also a commitment to wanting to share new holiday traditions with family and really being open to having everyone in. So we pulled out the hula hoop tool. And here's what the hula hoop is. Your hula hoop gets you out of everybody else's wants, desires, emotions, feelings, and gets you securely into your emotions, thoughts, and feelings. I like to say your hula hoop, when you need the hula hoop time, stops at your nose. So if you can just imagine a little hula hoop going around your body, it sticks out as far as your nose and the tip of your toes. And everything inside that hula hoop, that's yours. You get to choose. You get to choose how you show up. You get to choose what you want to create. And more importantly, you get to choose two answers to two questions. What works for me? What does not work for me? When you have that clarity, then we can do some planning that feels a little bit better. So let's talk about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. In my example, my friend who called said, they want to come down, they want to stay this many nights, they want to be in these rooms. I'm not set up for that. I'm not prepared. They want to have this dinner at that time. I wasn't okay with that. That's a lot of people and a lot of food and a lot of hosting. And I know you can relate to this. It's like Jimmy wanted to be here at 4 Sarah needed us to start at 6:30. Joe Bob is vegetarian, but Gary over here only eats meat. This one over there wants to do it the night before, and it's like you get bombarded by everyone else's desires and requests. And where I lived for most of my life was stepping and fetching to make sure I could keep all of those people happy. And actually, a lot of critical thinking skills, right? To take who can be here when and who can eat what and what should be brought. But it's exhausting. And in more times than not, I listened to all of that and had no clue. Wait, what about what works for me and what doesn't work for me? Let me go one step further. Before I had these two questions, and before I got used to tapping into the clarity that comes from these two questions, I also didn't have the willingness to serve other people without them becoming resentful. Let me paint you that picture. Before I had these two questions and really tapped into what works for me, I threw a lot of balls in the air. I caught them all. I spun all the plates. I made sure that everybody was happy and everybody was accommodated. And half the time, they didn't thank me for it. And I was mad because I was doing it to make them happy. I wasn't doing it because I like to care for my loved ones. I was doing it because I didn't want anybody mad. I didn't want anybody to feel left out. I didn't want anybody to be offended. I didn't want anybody not to have what they wanted to eat that day. Do you see the focus was out here on what I wanted everybody to feel or think or experience? None of that is inside my control. When we're trying to control things that are outside our control, we feel exhausted. And then afterward, likely because no one notices that we are spinning all the plates for all the people, no one notices the sense of betrayal that we feel for ourselves because we've literally done nothing to even acknowledge what might be good for us. The resentment and the victimhood and the martyrdom are right there for us to pick up. And in the midst of that, you know we're not doing any self-care. That will be another whole podcast, self-care in the holidays. So we use these two questions. We let how everybody else feels what they want to eat, what they've requested, just for a minute. We let it be outside our hula hoop. We make our hoop very, very, very small. Wait, what works for me? Does it work for me to have 5 people in my house for 3 full days? Would I be okay with 2? Would I be okay if someone else brought the air mattress? Would I be okay if we borrowed the neighbor's RV and put it in the driveway so that we could have just a little bit of extra spaces? What would make it okay with me? Does it not work at all? Is it, I actually would really like to have people come and enjoy dinner, but I don't want the responsibility of preparing all that food. It would work for me, though, if we purchased some of the food and all chipped in, or if everybody brought dishes. It would not work for me if my kids came home and helped with Thanksgiving by making dishes in my kitchen and then leaving all the prep dishes out for me to clean up. That does not work for me. It does work for me if we go ahead and establish, hey, you're going to bring the sweet potatoes and you're more than welcome to cook them here as long as all the prep dishes get washed up and put away. That works. See how clear that is? And then when we can communicate those things, really getting granular on what works for you and doesn't work for you. Now, this may, especially for us Southerners, feel real bossy McBoss pants or inconsiderate. Here's the rub. When my hula hoop gets really tiny and I get really straight on what does work for me and what doesn't work for me, and I communicate that, I can relax, I can be present, I can know that I love me as much as I love you, and that opens the door for so much connection. And it shuts the door on all that resentment and pity and victimhood and martyrdom and talking to the cousin about the other cousin who didn't. Cuts all that out. You might be challenged to stand true. Sometimes when you put your hula hoop small and you get clarity on what you want, and then you tell people what it is that works for you, and then that happens, you have missed the mark. You have actually said that something would work for you, and then it didn't. You might be tempted to turn around and blame that other person. Maybe I said, yeah, actually, I think 3 nights for the 5 of you works for me. I can do that. And actually, on that 4th night when everybody's gone, I am still irritated and angry. Maybe I just committed to something that actually didn't work for me. Okay, I've got a choice then. I can take responsibility for, wait, my bad. I thought it was going to work. I committed that it would work. I communicated that it would work, and it didn't work. You can either take responsibility for that and then, like next time, like Christmas, make a different plan. Or you might slip into an old pattern of, God, they were just so messy, or they were just so loud, and the blaming because you said you were going to do something and then you did it and then it didn't work. The blaming of those other family members. So when we get hula hoop planning and we get clarity and we get communication, we also have on the backside of that a responsibility piece. Now, these are all hardwired in our little noggins, right? The being upset, the overworking, the martyrdom, the victimhood, the trying to control everybody else's experience of their lives, all of these are really hardwired. So when I talk about these steps, it's real easy to say, like, well, what do you want? What works for you? But when you really start practicing them in real life with your people, expect speed bumps. Give yourself some grace and hold yourself fiercely to account in the love of who you really are when you're really at your best self. And I'm here to help you with that too. I hope that your Thanksgiving was fabulous. I hope that you're already beginning to think about the really wonderful holiday season that we are already in and how you can create what works for you and what does not work for you. Enjoy it, and I'll see you next time on Healthy AF. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Healthy AF. I hope something you heard helps you take one small, kind step toward your healthiest self. If you love this episode, hit subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you want more support, head over to myhealthylife.coach to connect with me. Remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start choosing you. See you next time.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.